I hear you. I hear you. Toddy, did we just see a text message showing that Dee Dee was breathing? That Dee Dee was breathing lightly on the 10th, the morning of the 10th, and that Nick wasn't even there yet. He came after that text message. Yeah, that'd be that message. So, guys, I'm just saying, what do you think? What do you think? How does Gypsy later tell people that on the 9th was the 10-year anniversary of her mom's unaliving? On the 9th, she just didn't remember the day of the week, but on the 9th was her mom's 10-year anniversary. Till some other people were like, well, not if you're saying Nick's involved, then it's the 10th. Gypsy, you're caught in a trap. And it ain't the Elvis song. Guys, if you were to take Gypsy Rose's lies and tie them all up together, can we get to the moon on them? Is there that many? There is that many. It's unbelievable, right? She's in her 30s. And if we tie them all up, right, we can get to the moon. Unbelievable, guys. This is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. We got some stuff that just kind of landed in my lap. Plain as day, we've had it for a minute, but it took us a second to say, yo, what's going on here? Gypsy, how'd that happen? So, as you guys know, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, in case you don't know who I'm talking about, she said that on the 9th, that was the anniversary of her mom's, especially the 10-year anniversary, and she reflected on how she remembered seeing baby Aurora's a sonogram picture for the first time. Exactly, a year ago on the 9th. So she has celebrated the 9th. And I say celebrated to her because I think that's the word to use for her. While the rest of us have just acknowledged and or remembered. And I'm sure many people have felt, sadness. But not Gypsy when it comes to the loss of her mom. Guys, she changed all of that to the 10th when somebody said, wait a minute, didn't you say that Nick didn't arrive till the 9th? And Gypsy said, yeah, but, it happened overnight into. Okay, well, let's just say that the 9th last year, June 9th last year, when it was such a big deal that she remembered Aurora's sonogram that day. Yeah, that was a Sunday, so probably didn't happen on a Sunday. But still, the 9th is the 9th. It's not the day you remember, it's the date. And the reason why Gypsy remembers that date is because Nick didn't even get into that house until after 2 a.m. in the morning on the 10th. Gypsy is known to say her mom passed on the 9th, but she doesn't remember what day it is or what day it was, but that it was on the 9th. Guys, it's clear that Nick arrives in Springfield on the 9th, and Gypsy's happy because we got that text message. Yay! She says, yay! You went and you said 2 meanings, 1 day. And until content creators, I guess, changed your mind or made you realize, well, you made a mistake, you were convinced that the unaliving of your mom was on the 9th of June. And also, the first time you ever saw a picture of your beautiful girl, Aurora, in the sonogram, was the 9th as well. But you're willing to change all of that. You're willing to change all of that because if Dee Dee was unalived on the 9th, that'd be all you. Because we got text messages that show Nick arriving on the 10th, not on the 9th. He arrived in Springfield on the 9th, and you were like, yay! But before he got to the house, you let him know, Dee Dee's sleeping lightly. And then he comes in the door, right, on the 10th. And then later, you say, well, it's the 9th, but I just don't remember the day of the week. And that was like right after the arrest. Gypsy. It's kind of like that glove scenario with OJ. If the glove don't fit, you got to acquit, right? Acquit if the glove don't fit. Let the guy go, right? But the problem with those gloves, just so you know, was, well, OJ, actually, they made him stop taking his ibuprofen, so his hands swelled up, his anti-inflammatories. And also, I think he was taking water pills, so. And also, he had fucking gloves on that he put the gloves on over. So that doesn't work too well, because the gloves kind of stick. Have you ever done that? Well, let me tell you something, Gyps. I know the autopsy says that the date is, the 14th, because they found her on the 15th. And you remember, they only found her on the 15th because you got sick of being with Nick. Otherwise, you just would have let your mom rot. It took you how many days? It took you 6 days. 6 days, because she died on the 9th. 6 days for you to feel bad that your mom was all alone, just rotting away. Cold, because you wanted to wait. You wanted to give it a chance. Because originally, right, I don't think that you were really going to leave with Nick. But none of that really matters now. Because, you kind of doubled down on the 9th. And then, there's so many times that I think you mentioned the 9th. And for content creators to show you that, yeah, it doesn't really look good if it's the 9th, Gyps, because Nick hadn't been there yet. You were like, yeah. But with all of the stuff that you told us that was untrue, even the stupid stuff about Barbies, where you weren't allowed to play with Barbies until somebody showed a picture of you with a Barbie, and then it was like, well, before I was a teenager, just before. That's not the way you talk. Well, just before. I've never been to the water. I don't know how to swim. But you sat, in a donut, water preserver or light, you know what I'm saying? You sat in a pool without any life vest on, just in one of those round circular things. You sat in one of those. And Gypsy, everything that you have said has been an untruth. But why should we believe when you said that your mom was unalived? And then you actually say she passed on the 9th. Wikipedia says she passed on the 9th. Who is spreading the narrative that she passed on the 9th? Gypsy is. Guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your day. I so appreciate you guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. I'm this close to 20,000. I'd really appreciate it. Don't forget, be better today than you were yesterday. Not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Thanks, guys.